Imagine opening your refrigerator right now. You take out a cold glass of milk. The color is familiar. The smell is familiar. You drink it without pausing to ask where it came from because the answer feels obvious. A cow, maybe a goat, maybe a sheep, maybe a camel, depending on where you live. But now imagine the exact same glass sitting on the shelf, creamy white and cold, except the label says something impossible. Lion milk. Would you drink it? Most people instantly say no. But why? Is lion milk poisonous? Would it be too rich for a human body? Would it taste disgusting? Would it somehow carry every gazelle the lion ever ate? The truth is stranger, because the biggest claim in this question is also the first thing we need to fix. You probably could drink predator milk. There is no known biological law saying a human body instantly cannot swallow, digest, or survive a sip of milk from a lion, wolf, or other predator. The real problem is that almost nobody has studied it as human food. Almost nobody can collect it safely, and there is no practical reason to build a dairy industry around animals that can seriously injure or kill you. So this is not really the story of a forbidden liquid. It is the story of why milk is so different from species to species, and why humans chose some animals for dairying while leaving predators completely outside that relationship. Milk is not just a drink. For every mammal, milk is the first survival system its young ever receives. It is food, water, energy, immune support, and growth material delivered in one package. But it is not a universal recipe. Every species makes milk for the kind of baby it has. A human infant grows slowly and develops over a long period. Human milk is relatively high in lactose, the sugar that provides energy, and it has a composition shaped around the unusual needs of a human baby. A calf has different needs. A lamb has different needs. A puppy has different needs. A seal pup has very different needs. That is why milk can vary so wildly. Cow milk is mostly water, with a few % fat and protein. Sheep milk is richer. Goat milk differs again. Horse and donkey milk are much lower in fat than cow milk and have more lactose. Cat and dog milk are generally richer in protein and fat than cow milk. Then you reach some marine mammals, and milk becomes almost unbelievable. The milk of certain seals can be incredibly high in fat. In the most extreme cases, it is less like the milk you pour over cereal and more like a dense energy paste. That makes sense when you picture the customer. A seal pup is not trying to become a school child. It needs to gain mass fast. It needs insulation. It needs blubber. It may need to survive in cold water where body heat can disappear quickly. For that pup, rich milk is not a luxury. It is emergency equipment. And this is the first big lesson. Milk is not designed for the animal producing it. Milk is designed for the animal drinking it. A lioness does not make milk for a human. She makes it for cubs that will grow into powerful carnivores. Her milk must support rapid growth, developing muscles, bones, brains, and immune systems. That means lion milk would almost certainly differ from cow milk. But here is where we need to be honest. There is far less published information about lion milk than there is about cow, goat, sheep, dog, cat, or human milk. People do not run lion dairies. And that tells you something before chemistry even enters the story. A dairy animal needs to be more than an animal that makes milk. It needs to live near humans without constant danger. It needs to reproduce reliably in human-managed settings. It needs to tolerate handling. It needs to provide enough milk beyond what its own young need. And ideally, it needs to eat food that humans can produce or gather efficiently. Cows, goats, sheep, camels, yaks, water buffalo, horses, and donkeys can fit parts of that description. Lions do not. A lioness does not produce extra milk for a human with a bucket. Her milk is for her cubs. She is also a large predator with teeth, claws, powerful muscles, and absolutely no evolutionary reason to cooperate with a person trying to approach her babies. That may be the real reason lion milk never became common human food. Not because it is mystical, not because it is automatically poisonous, because collecting it would be dangerous, difficult, ethically troubling, and wildly impractical. But then there's the question everyone asks next. What about toxins? Predators sit high in food chains. They eat other animals, and when certain pollutants enter an ecosystem, they can build up as they move from prey to predator. That process is called biomagnification. Mercury is one example in marine food webs. A small fish may absorb a tiny amount. A larger fish eats many smaller fish. A shark eats many larger fish. Over time, a long-lived top predator can carry more mercury than the animal below it. That is why health guidance often warns certain people, including pregnant people and young children, to limit or avoid some large predatory fish with higher mercury levels. But here is the important correction. Biomagnification does not mean every predator is full of poison. It does not mean every drop of predator milk is dangerous. And it does not mean herbivore milk is automatically free of contaminants. The level of risk depends on the species, where it lives, what it eats, its age, the chemical involved, and the condition of its environment. A captive lion raised in one setting may have a very different contaminant history from a wild killer whale living in a polluted ocean. A seal in one region may carry different chemical exposures than a cat living in a home. Scientists have found that some persistent pollutants can move from marine mammal mothers into their milk. That matters because milk contains fat, and some pollutants are attracted to fat-rich tissues. But it would be a huge leap to claim that all predator milk is toxic, or that drinking it means you are consuming every toxin from every prey animal the mother ever ate. Nature is rarely that simple. The real scientific answer is less dramatic but more useful. Milk can carry contaminants, and long-lived animals high in contaminated food chains can be especially important to monitor. Now, let us return to the fat. Would very rich predator milk upset a human stomach? Possibly, a big serving of extremely fatty milk could cause digestive trouble for many people, just as an unusually rich meal can. Nausea, cramps, or diarrhea would not be surprising if someone consumed a large amount of a milk far richer than what they usually drink. But saying the human digestive system was not built to process it goes too far. Humans digest fat. Humans eat cheese, cream, butter, meat, nuts, fish, oils, and many other fat-rich foods. A glass of very fatty milk might be unpleasant, especially for someone with certain digestive conditions, but it is not automatically beyond the abilities of the human body. The same goes for proteins. Milk proteins differ between species. Some people have genuine allergies to cow's milk proteins. Some people tolerate goat milk better, while others do not. Changing the animal does not create a guaranteed immune disaster. It creates uncertainty. And uncertainty is exactly the problem. Human nutrition research depends on evidence. We know a great deal about cow milk because humans have consumed it, studied it, processed it, and regulated it for generations. We know far less about lion milk because there is no normal reason for humans to drink it. Nobody should treat an untested animal product as a food experiment, especially not raw milk. Or raw milk from any mammal can carry disease-causing germs. That is true even when the animal looks healthy and even when the milk comes from familiar livestock. Pasteurization became common for a reason. It reduces the risk from harmful pathogens. With a predator, the practical problems multiply. You would need to safely handle the animal, safely collect the milk, test it, pasteurize it, study its nutritional profile, confirm that it does not contain unsafe contaminant levels, and then ask a final question. Why? Why go through all of that for a tiny, unpredictable supply of milk from an animal that was never domesticated for dairy in the first place? The answer is that humans already found better options. This is where cows, goats, sheep, camels, and other dairy animals changed history. They did not become dairy animals simply because they were herbivores. Herbivore is not a magical milk category. Their milk still differs enormously from one species to another. They became dairy animals because humans could form long-term relationships with them. People could breed them, protect them, feed them, move with them, use their hides, wool, dung, meat, labor, and milk. Over many generations, some populations even evolved a greater ability to digest lactose into adulthood. That trait is called lactase persistence. Most mammals, including most humans, naturally produce less lactase after childhood. Lactase is the enzyme that breaks down lactose, the main sugar in milk. But in several human populations with long histories of herding and dairying, genetic changes allowed many adults to keep producing more lactase. This was not one mutation in one place. It evolved independently in different populations. That is one of the clearest examples of culture-shaping biology. Humans began keeping dairy animals. Milk became a valuable food. In some communities, adults better able to digest it gained an advantage. Over time, those genetic variants became more common. But even that story has a twist. Many people without lactase persistence have still consumed dairy in forms such as yogurt, cheese, or fermented milk, where processing can reduce lactose. Human food traditions are clever. They do not always wait for biology to change before finding a workaround. So perhaps the deepest answer is not that humans cannot drink predator milk. It is that we never built a world around it. We built our dairy systems around animals we could approach. Animals that could live in herds. Animals that could produce useful amounts of milk. Animals that did not need us to raise other animals just to feed them. And animals that, over thousands of years, became part of human homes, economies, migrations, and meals. A lion was never part of that bargain. The lion remained a hunter. Its milk stayed where it belonged, with its cubs. And that may be the most fascinating part of the whole question. The glass of milk in your refrigerator is not just white liquid from an animal. It is the result of evolution, domestication, farming, genetics, technology, and thousands of years of humans choosing which animals to live beside. So could you drink lion milk? In theory, perhaps, but should you? There is no good reason to try. It is unstudied as human food, unsafe to obtain, potentially risky if raw or contaminated, and far more valuable to the cubs it was made for. The real mystery is not why humans are unable to drink predator milk. It is why we ever assumed every mammal's milk was meant for us. Which animal's milk would surprise you most? Lion, wolf, seal, or whale? Leave your answer in the comments and subscribe to Andy for more strange questions hiding inside the natural world.